So, welcome. It's lovely to see you again.
You too. Thanks, Kaz.
I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with you, Liz. And I just want to open up the space for you. And there's no pressure. We can go anywhere you want to go. And I'll just be me and you just be you.
That sounds good. No, I'm all good. I had a group just before us that was really
Oh, nice.
awesome and did a lot of meditation and some creativity. So I'm really, really good.
Lovely. Gosh, you've been busy already and it's so early in the morning for you. Wow.
I'm an early bird.
Yeah, and I'm an owl. Yes, get most of my work done about 2 o'clock in the morning. I
Wow.
know. I think, I don't know, maybe because I was born at 10 o'clock at night, start of my day,
Yeah, interested. Yeah.
maybe. So you've been really, really busy already today, and it's just beginning.
Mm.
Yep. And I've been quite busy today, been busy with editing, and I've got lots and lots of videos that I'm editing. Um,
Wow.
I'm just taking my watch off. I'm getting some stuff ready to submit for an online thing that I'm part of each year. And so I've been editing that as well. So rather a lot of swear words as I go. I do a rough edit, and then I go back and revisit and really edit. And
Wow.
yeah. And then it gets checked by 3 people.
Well,
I know. So it has never come back yet. You never know though.
it sounds like it's important to you.
Yeah, I like to I really enjoy um doing this work, and when it's for somebody else, I put quite a lot of effort in.
Yeah.
I want it to be really good when it's for someone else, and I'm quite a
Mm.
perfectionist anyway.
It's really nice to witnessing someone being in their passion and showing up to that, but also being a bit vulnerable, but also courageous in letting it go out there as well. Do you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
this is the journey.
yeah,
Yeah, thank
yeah.
you.
It can be nerve-wracking. We don't know
Mm,
where it's going to end up. Once it's out there, off it goes. And we
yeah,
don't know what anybody's going to feel or think or say about our work. And I think,
yeah,
like you, our work comes from ourselves. It's something very, very
yeah, very much.
important to us.
Yeah.
And then out it goes.
And I'm realizing that I'm a recovering perfectionist. Not there's anything wrong with it, but yeah. But what I'm noticing is what you're just saying in sharing,
Yeah.
it comes from yourself, and
Yeah.
so it can feel personal. And then how we have to let that go, because otherwise we wouldn't share. But also where it lands with people isn't necessarily because of what we've shared. There's different perceptions and different experiences of people. And
Yes.
that's something I'm noticing more and more, that
Mm.
it's not like the perfection trying to be here, share what you want to share is really important. But I've been amazed at the way that it can be received depending where people are on their journey. So they just perceive it differently, not because it's incorrect necessarily, or not because it's confusing, just where a person's at. And that's kind of blown my mind, because I was thinking the more you perfect things, blah, 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 then it will get out that way and everybody will get it. That's not the case.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. So have you put some things out there, and it has been experienced in ways that has really taken you by surprise
Yeah,
because of where
yeah.
that person's at?
Yeah, very much so. And, I read over what I put
Mhm,
and explored it, and it was really obvious to me.
mhm.
And I'd sent it to somebody else, but I'd sent it to somebody that was on my wavelength.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And then when the person responded, and it was like, it says what? And how did they get that from that?
Yeah.
And then I put myself in maybe where they were at, and I thought, okay, maybe. But anyway, that thing about when we are putting ourselves out, and we're doing that more and more, and there's that, I don't know that it's shame, but you know how you can feel a bit embarrassed about something, or maybe you missed out something, and
Yeah.
it's,
Feel a bit
yeah, I don't
wobbly.
know. Yeah.
A bit
And that,
wobbly
how
about
you,
something.
yeah, and to still do it, knowing that, expect anything.
Yes. We
Do
can't
you know what I
rely
mean?
on,
Expect
we can't
anything
make any
back.
assumptions.
No,
No, what's gone out,
no,
it'll land as it lands, and there's nothing we can do about that.
yeah,
But I think maybe, I believe I have the very best intention in me,
yeah,
and I can
yeah,
only be me.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
imagining you're similar. I think you've got a very, very good heart, very good intention.
Mm,
And so what you put out is
mm,
meant probably with a lot of love, a lot of care.
yeah,
I believe these things about you
mm,
very deeply.
mm,
And then it can be a bit of a jolt if somebody comes back at us with something very different to what we imagined or intended.
yeah.
Mhm.
And actually, this is taking me to a place where I did that and held a lot of shame for years. And I can feel it in my tummy, and
Oh,
like,
see right now.
feeling it like here. And it was when I first started stepping out, I was an occupational therapist, and I'd always known about the therapeutic use of self.
Mhm.
And, um, but my perception of that was, we had Anne Mosley, this great OT, and it was very academic, but she was great. It was therapeutic use of self. But I was using the concept of, our own energy, our own perceptions. We bring something, and this is impacting on the client. Do you know what I mean? And how
Yes.
do we use ourselves?
Mhm.
So I did this first time I did a presentation at clinical workshops, 2008. And I worked for hours on this presentation, hours, and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, and it had like fun, but really good exercises and good imagery and metaphor. And I thought it was, honestly, because I'm like, oh my God, this is brilliant. I loved it. And then it was the first time I did something like that. It was about 40 odd people attended, and the room wasn't big enough. And I was nervous, eh? So I had far too much in it. I get it. Too much information. Anyway, I got all of that, but there were a couple of people in there that were really rude and making comments that I could hear.
Like heckling you.
Almost, yeah, almost. And, it was a bit of a shocker. So I remembered feeling sick, and there was a lot of things that brought pressure. There was, because it was too big, we were running out of time because they had to get chairs, and some people were standing, blah, blah, blah. But I remembered this, there was some of this heckling. I never thought about it that way. And I remembered somebody saying, yes, I know, but look at all the work she's done. So I wanted to just get through that. I mean, I did have one or two positive comments. I just wanted to get out of there so fast. And it was lunchtime after, and I just went in the car. I had to drive away because it was at the centre. I came back, and I just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And now I can feel how I was so embarrassed and so ashamed of, like, what was I thinking? And then I was thinking like it wasn't academic enough. Do you know what I mean? And that held me back for years, and so much so that in the OT world, I would feel embarrassed about even OTs that didn't attend. You know, this shame takes
It
you
was
to
massive. It
such a
felt global.
dark place.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it
massive.
stopped me doing things for a long time, that shame. And I'm
That's
just realizing how prevalent, even in what we're
yeah,
talking about, as
yes,
I said, put out things out there right now. I never thought about that, Kaz,
yeah,
that
yeah,
I'm putting things out there now and starting to put really my own opinion, and which sometimes clashes with, especially around emotional eating.
yeah,
People go to food and I'm like, no, that's the last place. And they're like, really? And it's like holding that, they don't have to agree with me.
no,
But so I'm realizing that as I put myself out on social media, which is new, and newsletters and just what you're saying, that's
yeah,
so interesting.
yeah. You've had to. It feels like that very going back to the day of the was it a conference? Did you say? I'm sorry, I
It was
didn't.
clinical workshops, yeah,
Yes,
conference.
I
The
mean,
conference.
just that sounds scary in itself. Clinical workshops. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I've got that straight away just with the title.
Yeah.
And then you poured all of this work in, so much work and care and
Hours.
attention and coming up with lots of different things to do. And then you go there on the day, excited, I imagine, nervous, but
Yeah.
excited. You've put all this effort in. You can't wait to be doing this. It's so exciting.
Mhm.
And then the heckles.
Yeah.
To hear, I can't remember exactly how you put it, but it sounds like one person had said something that you didn't hear. And then another person said, yeah, but look at all the work she's put in, which
Mm.
with that but, I think that's the word that makes me think, sounds like that was a negative, whatever they've said is
Yeah.
critical about you.
Yeah.
And to be able to stay there and continue
Oh my
under
God.
those circumstances, that pressure, wow.
Mhm.
And then to leave and to go and almost like get away and hide. I really hear the shame. Yeah, I really hear the shame.
And then,
So
thank you so
painful.
much, Kaz. I've never really told anybody much about it. You know, John, of course, but I had to go back. I had to go back in and
Yeah,
attend
face them.
workshop I attended, and imagining that these people were saying things about me. There's that stupid person. What kind of OT is she? And oh my God, you know, that stuff you do to yourself.
Yeah,
And I don't even remember the workshop. I don't think I took anything in. I just sat. When I think about it, embodying it, I think I just sat like not wanting to be seen, but really when I think, God, I went to a
yeah,
place because I was even like struggling to look up at the
yeah.
presentation. And when I
It
think
really
about
speaks
it,
to
I was
shame.
writing notes, but I wasn't really writing. I just wanted to,
Yeah,
wow, isn't that
right.
interesting?
Yeah. It really speaks of shame. I mean, the reason I'm saying that, I guess, is because I've had similar experiences myself, and
Mm,
I've known that to be shame in me. And the
yeah,
looking down and almost faking it, like I'll just look like I'm really concentrating and writing notes so that I can
yeah,
kind of hide under that. But to have the courage to go back in there after such a horrible experience, I think that says a lot about you. Things that
I
you
never looked at it
could
that way.
and that you did.
And
And
I'm guessing, thank you
sorry.
for that, Cass, that, no, that most people in there, probably all the people in there, wouldn't have been thinking about me at all. There'd been a lunch,
Yeah,
there'd been this, that we're here to
yes,
learn.
yeah,
Like, I'm not that
no,
important, but I
no,
felt like, I was like mind reading or
yeah,
assuming,
yeah,
and and it affected me for a long
yes,
time.
yeah,
My confidence in other ways as well. And oh God,
yeah.
I can feel a sicky feeling in my tummy, and
So unpleasant. And in your chest as well, it seems quite high up.
yeah,
Here
yeah,
in your tummy and something here in your chest too. Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I worked on it in different ways, but yeah, just but now it's really good to remind myself that as I put myself out more and more, and I'm getting more daring, that, you
Yes.
know, there's going to be stuff that comes back, no matter how perfect we do it as we see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, there's lots to that. I feel a bit sped up in a way, quite excited. It's like, oh gosh, there's this and there's that. And there's lots to talk about here. I feel quite excited about all of this. So I've got all of that going on in me, and remembering things that I've been through where I have felt very ashamed in, you know, professional situations.
Yeah.
And also thinking about, you know, whoever that person was that said that thing about, yeah, but look how much work she's put in. I'm thinking, I wonder if she was presenting anything that day and thinking, fuck, I've hardly done a thing.
Yeah.
We don't know, do we? We don't know where that's coming from in them. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it was a guy, actually. The
I'm
voice, I
sorry.
remember being a guy.
Sorry.
But
Yes.
yeah, I never thought about that.
But
That could have made them wobbly.
yeah. Yeah. And I've made people wobble
Ah,
too in the workplace and not realized for maybe 2 years or something. Something's come back later, and I've thought, shit, I had no idea. My
yeah.
impact on them was huge. And that,
Wow.
to me, I was
Yeah.
just being me. And that takes me back to you and I in our work today, what we put out there
Yeah.
and how we put it out.
Mm.
I guess I've got a very certain way of thinking about it, really, though. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's just my way of thinking about it, that we can only be ourselves.
Yeah.
And that I guess we
Mm.
might put some stuff out that may excite some and terrify others and offend others. We
Yeah.
just can't please everybody.
Yeah. It will.
Yeah. But
Yeah, it will.
should we not put that stuff out there? Should we not
No.
be ourselves?
And I do believe I'm 62 now and realizing that it's taken me this long to be able to step up. But I have to say, a part of me is in those years, I'm a different person. So, you know, I'm very solid now, and, you know, I've come through so much where I can pretty much, it wouldn't derail me
Oh,
anymore. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? It would not derail me because, you know, if you can speak to one person and it helps them, then I'm like, bring it on. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When I think about other people,
Yeah.
it's like I go into this place like, okay. And when I say bring it on, it doesn't, it's not like I'm going to get into battle, but, you know, I'm still going to be standing up because I feel of all other people and women that have been shamed so much. And I'm like, you're standing for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's thank you for
Yes.
this. It's a real reminder. It's like, you're standing for that. And I went the other day, and I've not met her before, and she asked me what I did. And I told her I worked with people with emotional eating, and she went straight to a description about a friend and who's quite large. And she said she goes mad every time I mention food. And I said, please don't do that to her. Please don't do that to her. I said, I know that it sounds like you love her, and it breaks my heart. I said, it sounds like you love her. I said, but in a way, it's shaming for her. And this lady had bariatric treatment, and my heart sunk. So she said, and I'm like, oh my God. And I knew what was coming next. And she said, she's put it all on and more. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, my heart breaks for your friend. I said, I want to work with women like that. You know, it's not just large women, but I said, nobody worked with her about what the food was about. And like her shame, it'd be so much more expanded. And I forgot I was talking to the friend, and I said, what she needs is like love and caring for who she is, because that shame, I said, have you noticed a difference in her before she had the surgery and then she had it, and even more, she went, yeah, she's worse than she's ever been. And I said, that's why. I said, she will have these feelings, because I did it myself. She will have these same shame feelings about, oh my God, I can't even do this. Everybody knew this about me. Now I've got this disgusting body. I therefore am disgusting. I said, and she's not. And I said, you may not be aware of this. She said she just put sort of big wall. I said, she's trying to protect herself without realizing it. And I said, I know that you love her, but honestly, even like now, I feel it. And she said, like, give me a card. I mean, I don't have them and I can't see anybody until August. But it's like how prevalent it is now, this shame of your body. And I'm realizing as we're talking, so it was great to have a chat with her. And I said, do you know what you could do for her? I said, play with her, remind her what she's good at, tell her things you care about her. I said, not all in one go out and do some yummy things together. Do something that connects you to her. And it's not about her weight, it's not about her size, so she can tap those bits. Create fun times. Do you know, whether it's you or you're part of a group, have a laugh. I said, seriously, those kinds of things. And then, just even having a girly day, whether it's nails, do you know what I mean? Which might be hard for her. I've gone tingly now, but I'm just realizing as we're talking about the shame is, I had, in the work I'm doing, emotional eating, helping people with negative body image, like a lot of people expect, like if you're talking about that thing that you're supposed to be a certain shape and size, and it's like it isn't about that. And it takes me back to the shame I had, like when my body was okay. There's hardly any photos of me, but one or two, I look at them and I think, fuck, I thought I was like double the size of, like literally double. And I saw that in the mirror. So much shame from my body and even from a child. And now I've worked in eating disorders on and off for a number of years, but I'm realizing that even now, what I'm offering is, how do you love this body that you're absolutely ashamed of? How do you care about this body? And it's not the body, it's you. It's who we are. And honestly, Kaz, that shame is so fucking strong and debilitating. And our friends and our loved ones reinforce it without knowing.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, my heart went out to this woman who is awesome, actually. She's brilliant. And I know that she's going to be different with a friend.
Yeah.
She genuinely, she was like, yeah. But what I'm doing is I'm stepping up with my body that to some would be not the right shape inside. I'm covered in stretch marks because I've never had children, because I've been massive and then I've lost weight and I've been massive. And I remember once going to the hospital, I thought I had a kidney infection. So we were in emergency. I had to strip down and I felt sick. I was in my 20s and I was like, oh my God, the shame of my body. I didn't want to go to a hospital because I didn't want to be examined.
Yeah.
The shame, eh? And then they examined me and I was full of stretch marks. And then somebody asked me about when I'd had my first child. And it's like, I just wanted to die. Not die, but go in that hole. And after that, I had even more shame. So to be here now, like saggy bits, I'm older, I've got wrinkles, I've got saggy bits and blah, blah, blah. And yet, fuck, I love my body so much. She's incredible. And what I've been through, it gives me hope that, listen, you can do this. Well, not just that evangelical, because I used to do that. It has to be slow. And I was saying to the lady that somewhere your friend's not feeling safe in her body for whatever reason. I said, who knows? But yeah, do you know what I mean? And like coming up now and being this, and I can see that I can feel this shame, but you know what, Kaz, it's not. I feel the passion for other women, other people, and I can feel the sickiness, but it's not going to derail me when I think about what it's done in different ways over the years.
Yeah.
And I want to help others, but I just, yeah.
No, sorry, I've interrupted you. Keep going.
I could go on forever.
No, but it's important that you can speak, because what we've already said before, it's we don't have much opportunity to speak as therapists. And listening to you, you're just wonderful and beautiful to hear everything that's coming out from you about this. It's so real and true and vulnerable and honest, and it's what you absolutely believe and know about all of this work that you do. You are an expert in this, and it just feels like it flows out of you, and it can't, it's like a fountain, and you know, I was going to say it can't be stopped. And why should it be stopped? It shouldn't be stopped. Yeah, I see the words are impacting you. That you gave the, not hairdresser, the person you went to see earlier to go and get a treatment, you gave her such a gift, and that gift is going to be passed on to her friend. You've passed on an incredible gift. And we began, I don't know if this is the bit that we recorded or not, but we began talking about use of self, the therapeutic use of self. That may or may not have been captured on our recording. And there you are, sitting in that, wherever you went to get that treatment, using yourself and all of your knowledge and passion, and passing that on as a beautiful gift to this person who's going to help that person, her friend. You can't see her till August. Hopefully she'll come. Hopefully she'll be able to come. But if this had been prevented from coming out, that everything you said to her, I think it would have been such a loss, massive loss. And you know, I'm thinking, if this is how you were at the clinical workshops for OT, my goodness, what a gift. And there they all are, trying to close you down and shut you down and dilute you down with all the heckling. How rude. How rude. How are you doing?
Do you know, Kaz, I'm just really grateful, because I've known this work is deep, and I'm doing beta programs, 2 beta programs, and I'm working with 5 women, 4 on one program, 1 on another. And I just love them so much as a human being and as a woman. And I'm realizing that, well, I say this to them anyway, but like how much the shame is holding them back in sharing how they really feel about things. And, you know, they start off feeling like, yeah, I'm doing this and it's fine. And it's like, that's great, but we want shadow, you know, and how to help. It's so creating the safety so that the shame can come up, because it's just, that's got to be shifted. And when you think about shame, it's like the shame doesn't even belong to us, because when we're born, we don't know what shame is.
Absolutely.
It's shaming from outside of ourselves, but it's so toxic. And these women that I'm working with, I'm like, oh my God, I wish you could see from this side. And what shaming is, I'm not just saying this, and I used to hear the light, the golden shadow and the light in people, and I used to think, yeah, it's all very nice, but I swear to God, it's true. Every one of us has this. We're all unique. We don't have to be doing big magic things in the world. The big magic thing in the world to do is to learn to be with ourselves and to be body, mind, soul, and of ourselves regardless. That's the job. Anything else, okay. But these women, Kaz, as they're coming through, it's like the shame is going and gone in some, and the light's coming through, and it's almost like where they're all at is their identity. I don't know who I am now. I know there's much more than shame, but shame is one of the contributors to squashing. And it's like when they're coming out in this light, it's like, oh,
brand new.
and that's, yeah. And then when they're coming out and it's like, there's this old story, I'm just realizing this now, the more they come out, there's fear, but there's this shame, just what we're talking about now, that is still in there somewhere. So it reminds me, I need to do more work on that, because we're shifting it, but it reminds me to remind them that you may get some of this old stuff coming up as you free yourself more and more because of what happened before. So let's nail this. Let's look out. What is it you're dealing with? Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, there's many things, but I know that does this make any sense?
It does make a lot of sense to me because, well, I've got a lot of Me Too going on as well. Personally, Me Too. Yeah. And I've also got stuff that I do work-wise as well. It's like, yes, me too. I've got that going on as well. And I can really hear this process that you're working through and how you're making sense as you watch them, as you witness their journeys and see what's happening. You're seeing something in all 5 of them by the sounds of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a similar thing as well. I know they're all unique, completely unique. But there's also this newness, the light, but also this shame that still hangs around from before. And there's an identity thing. It's like, funnily enough, I'm reading a children's book, a teen book, where it's about a fat girl and she identifies as a fat girl. It's, we come out of that place and we're not that same shape, size, whatever. So who are we? Who are we now?
That's when I first had the worst body image. I was 16 and I was about 16 stone. And I only know because I applied for a job and I had to get weighed. I had a medical. And I couldn't believe that. I was 16 stone. Anyway, for whatever reason, I managed to lose a lot of weight, like a lot of weight. And then I lost even more. So I got down, the lowest I ever got was about 9.2 or 9.4. I swear to God, Kaz, I didn't feel good. So I started getting attention from people, guys.
Yeah.
And some women, but as in, not nice attention from women, actually. Women can be really cruel to each other. But to me, I was still that big, fat, horrible, disgusting Liz. I was still 16 stone. That's what I feel about bariatric. You don't, unless you've got psychological, but people were responding to me in the body I was in. I thought they were taking the mickey. Yeah. I thought they were taking the piss, and that if a guy asked me out or whatever, I'd be looking like, where's the bet to go and get the fat girl? Yeah. I was nasty to myself and not very nice in responding. And that shame, Kaz, that shame and embarrassment, that I thought it was a bet. I was still walking around with shame and embarrassment. God. And when I think about it, I was getting more attention. Yeah. And so it made it worse. Do you know what I mean? And I remember I used to sit on the bus and, like, when I was younger, I didn't know this, but I looked not bad, my face. Do you know what I mean? And I would sit on the bus, and if I was looking out and I saw somebody looking at me, whatever, I used to either think like, oh my God, they're just looking and thinking like how ugly I am. And like, oh, please don't get on the bus because if you do, you'll see how fat I am. I mean, stupid stuff like that. But the body image distortion was, when people say that and people don't get it, I would look in the mirror and see this massive, and even now I find it profound. But when you see the massive, there's disgust, and there's nobody that can talk you out of it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nobody that can do that. And so I don't know how we got to the body distorted, the body image distortion. Not sure about, but again, shame being reinforced when you get more attention as well, and you don't know how to handle it, and
especially if you're seeing yourself in a different light.
Yeah, and I was like that and that was 16 was when I started the eating disorder, right? And that was when I first lost all that weight, and it took me years to connect the dots. I didn't know till I was 30 that had an eating
30.
disorder.
Right.
Sorry?
Yeah. Did
I
you
was
say
30.
Sorry.
Yeah. And I was in an occupational therapy class on mental health, and there were symptoms of bulimia, pre-morbid, and all the rest of it. And I was like, and when we came out of that class, I said to a friend, I said, I think I've got bulimia. I was sick. I said, I think I've got bulimia. I was 30.
Yeah.
I think I've
Did you
got,
say you got sick just then, Liz? Right then?
yeah,
You feel sick right now?
yeah. I do. I'm hot and feel
Mm,
sick. And
yeah. Just, do you
like,
want
I
to just
can't
take a
believe how the
minute?
mind
Yeah. Take
disassociates so
time.
much.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
I can actually, because I worked in mental health for many years. So I get it.
Mhm.
But like, that's what this person sometimes in the fat body, or it's not fat, like it's a fat body, it's just fat. That's it. But, but like, you can't go in there and dig. It's too brutal.
Yeah.
Like, this person's inside here needing love and attention and care just for who they are.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe I do. And I'm really wanting to attend to you for a moment, if that's okay, because
Oh,
are you okay?
I am okay. I'm just surprised how I
you
was
felt
30,
sick.
I'm 62 now. And
Yeah.
I've talked about this before, but maybe because we're talking about shame that,
Yes.
wow, Kaz, amazing. Oh, I've got a lump in my throat.
Yeah, I was going to say, how's the sicky feeling? And I hear you've got a lump in your throat. And yeah, it's a very, if it's anything like I get, it's a very unpleasant, almost like something stuck in there that you want to swallow away.
Yeah,
Is that it? Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a very
Wow.
unpleasant response, this lump in the throat. How is your sicky feeling? Is it past? Is it still there?
Um, that's better. It's about a 4 or 5.
Out of 10.
Yeah, but I can breathe again. It's good.
I'm glad you can breathe.
Wow, Kaz.
Yeah, you've been joining up a lot of dots.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, lovely. Important.
I hadn't realized how much shame keeps poking its way in different times, and I really want people to know that
Yeah,
because I didn't realize it, and I'm a therapist. Not this
absolutely.
many times. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, I missed what you said there.
Not. I didn't know it was this many times that it pops in different ways.
Yes,
You know what I
so
mean?
many
So,
different.
yeah, you get feelings, and I've not considered any of them ever being shame because I've done so much work with that. But it passes as well. It's a yucky feeling, but it passes,
Isn't
even
it?
if you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it really needs to be seen and heard in love and empathy and care, and rather than
yeah,
hidden away shamefully. We have that
yeah,
tendency to get in the car and take off somewhere, get away from, hide ourselves away in shame on our own when nobody can
yeah,
see us or hear what's happened. Yeah, it's very unpleasant. How are you doing? How's your body?
yeah. Feeling better, feeling better. Yeah, it's kind of I'm just yeah. It felt like it was a wave, and
Mhm.
and I'm really honouring that younger version of myself. And
Yeah,
I used to drink a lot. As a woman, we
alcohol.
used to go out.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I used to drink a lot, especially because I met a friend at 17 and there was 5 of us. So we'd just party hard out. But a lot of that drink was about confidence because of
Yes,
the
I think you
shame.
said that
A
last
lot of it
time.
was about
Mhm.
confidence.
Yes, yeah. It gave you
Yeah.
confidence to go out and have fun and be you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And I don't drink anymore. That stopped. Yeah. But yeah,
Mhm.
interesting, eh? We're trying our best with coping mechanisms.
Absolutely. We all have them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we regress, that is the place we go.
Yeah. And
Until we
honestly,
learn
I
other
feel like I'm
things.
back online again now.
Did you feel like you were
Wow.
offline for a bit?
Yeah, I've got to stop saying offline, online because that is so valuable to have just had that experience.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know what? I'm not going to say that anymore. That is not
Okay. Yeah.
offline.
Because it
It's
sounds like
not
a judgment.
offline.
No, it's actually really deep
No,
and
it's
real.
not.
Very real.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Sounds like offline means messed up and online means I've got my shit together. Something like
no,
that.
it's not. No, I had my
No.
shit together when I was feeling all those things because I was able to feel them and in them and be with you. I was totally aware. That's
Absolutely.
online, if online is online. Yeah, I'm going to stop that.
Okay, yes. Yeah, my saying is get a grip. I say that to myself. I need to
Yeah,
get a
and
grip.
it's
Yeah.
wow. Wow, Kaz.
How are you doing?
Good.
Hmm.
Good. It makes me want to, like, already I'm like, right, I'm going to start talking about shame more online.
Yes, absolutely. My
That's what it makes me feel like. Go there. I'm
absolutely.
going to go there.
We've got so much shame stuff in the goddess stuff that I do. It's because I'm
Right.
like all about really, really embracing all the shadow stuff. Let's get it all out and really, embrace it and be it. And the more we can, do that, we'll become much more
Yeah.
whole rather than shamefully hiding those things away and pretending they don't exist. Be squeaky clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that kind of
Good.
takes me back to putting the stuff out there and just being you. Just be
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And a
Somebody,
real reminder, Kaz, of how when we can go to this experience, we can have it. And I hope whoever watches this really takes this part on because they get scared is that you can go there, you can be in it. And then because you're in it, whether it's by yourself or you're held by somebody like your beautiful self, then it does what it needs to do in your body, your mind and spirit, and then it can pass. Do you
yes,
know what I mean?
yeah,
It doesn't mean it can
not there
derail you,
forever.
but it doesn't mean yeah,
Yeah,
it's part of the journey
yes, yeah,
and that
yeah,
they deserve love and kindness and compassion
absolutely.
because they're amazing.
Yes, there's so much, I am this, and therefore then I am also this, this, and this. And it all feels very, really down on themselves.
Yeah,
And I can go there easily myself too.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'd experienced anorexia in my 20s, but
Mm.
I didn't have a name for it. I was fine. Actually, that reminds me of that Lily Allen song, something about everything's fine because I'm getting thinner.
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah,
you
yeah.
know that song. I don't even know which song that is, but I love her music. But that line just popped in there. And that's how
Wow.
I was. The thinner I got, the happier I was. I was buzzing, I was flying, it was all based on how I looked and to get as light as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I've got a friend, we've known each other for a long time since training in counselor training days. And I'd been talking to her about it and said, oh, I just could not get below 8 stone 2. And she says, don't be ridiculous, Cash. You could have chopped a leg off. I'd been really, really opening up about that time of my life. I was around about 24, 20, well, actually younger, from about 18 through my 20s till about
Mm.
29, 30. And
Yeah,
then things started to
yeah.
change. But yeah.
What made you change, Kaz? What
Yeah, it's a
was
very
the
good question. I was just thinking that myself, actually. So my 20, I always call this part of me my 27-year-old part, but it spans sort of 24, 25 to about 29, 30. And this is this intense period where I was really, really wanting to be as thin as I could be. I remember I would allow myself to have, could hear the language, allow myself to have one slice of toast a day and then black coffee all day. And
wow.
yeah. And some days I was feeling faint and dizzy. I wasn't able to really function or properly focus or be there. But I didn't
like
think about
brain and your periods and things like that. And
no, they didn't change. They didn't change. No,
okay.
funnily enough. But I was also something about I felt at my best. I really associated being this thin and not eating with being at my very best. Yeah.
Well, you'd be encouraged to do that in society.
Well, absolutely. All through my childhood. Yeah. Yeah. I'd never been good enough or looked good enough. And my first husband at the altar, he was a real charmer, had turned to whisper in my ear. And I guess everyone in the church would have thought, oh, how lovely, he's saying something nice to her. And he said, I suppose you don't look that bad. That is what he said to me. I still married him. Yeah. But today, oh my God, I would have a ball if somebody said that to me right now. Oh yeah, it would be a whole different ball game. Yeah. I certainly wouldn't have married him. No.
Yeah. And I think anorexia is actually really, really hard to get out of. I really do. It's really, I think it's, hard to get out of. So really admiring what you did.
I still can't come up with the answer to what changed, what made me change. I just haven't got the answer to that, but I know that I did. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But it went the other way, of course, because when you starved yourself for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the body just holds on to everything.
Yeah. And that must have been hard. Like, I wonder what that was like, having this thin body, and then you're out, even you start eating normally, everything's changed, and then you put on weight, which has been a nightmare. So to deal with that, what was that like?
Yeah. Do you know, I think I was pretty numb for a lot of that time. I don't remember an awful lot of that period of time. I'd got into another relationship. I was very, very unhappy and spent a lot of time alone. And I'd begun another business. I'd begun a business. So I was very busy as well. Yeah, I haven't got any answers for this. I'm going to go digging into this, actually. It's very interesting because it's raising things that I haven't got answers for at the moment. And I would like to know, because the more I know, the better I'm going to feel about myself. I can accept myself more if I know everything. But this period of time probably spans about 24 years old to about maybe 34, 35 years old. Yeah. I'm not sure if I was 100% present at that time. I probably wasn't.
Yeah. And it's interesting that if your business was something you was passionate about or something that mattered to you, sometimes if we find that, that's the thing that takes us, because we're less concentrated on this and doing something.
Yeah.
And it depends if there's many things.
And I did love it. Yeah. I started up a wedding florist business.
Oh my God. So there's so much stuff there. Right.
Yeah.
And
it was creative, and I was seeing people from around the world. That can be the
very thing, Kaz.
Yeah, I think that could have been it.
Do you know what I mean? You're tapping into your creativity, into what you love, and then making these people happy and just being and focused, and it takes you away from our horrible or the foodie thing. It can help in that way.
Absolutely. And I think that is what helped me have that business. And I was so focused on it. I was really, really focused. Right. Everything in me was able to come out again. All that creativity.
Oh, yeah. That had been like squashed.
Yes.
Right. So sometimes they can be the turning points.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I wasn't able to write at all during my 20s. A lot of, there was a lot of judgment around with my first husband and so on. So, yeah. Yeah, I think my creativity had really been stilted. And then through the floristry, which I hadn't been trained in or anything, but somehow I just had this ability and managed really to do this business. I'm sorry, I'm a bit kind of like, wow, really? But I did.
And I wonder how seeing your creative, so, you know, like your creations and people responding, it thwarts the shame or anything like that, doesn't it? Because it's like, oh, I mean, I know that it takes a while to believe it, but like that part of us, do you know what I mean? It kind of taps into something that strengthens us a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And over a period of time, it may get stronger and stronger. I know the doubts and the perfectionism, but just how things like that can, creativity or whatever it is, gardening can thwart some of those other things without even trying, and you don't even know.
No. Yeah, it does feel like it was some sort of smooth transition. It's a strange thing. Yeah, it's a very, this is quite, it is very eye-opening, this conversation. I am going to go digging because it's like, it's so interesting. I would like to know. And if I can, I know that when I make space, information floats up in me very easily. So thank you for that. I will definitely.
Oh my goodness, amazing. And like thinking about your soul, like how she pushed you and like said, hey, and then it makes sense of the background behind you.
Oh yes, all the big flowers.
Florist.
Yeah, and my art, of course, with all the trees and the colour, and yeah. All of that has been really, really suppressed. Yes.
Yeah. And that's what shame does, doesn't it? And all those other feelings.
Yeah. There's so much judgment, I think, in my first marriage. There was very, very little space for me to be me. Yeah. And I didn't have any control really over my life, and that's probably the one thing I could control. That's making a lot of sense.
I'm just really appreciating sharing this conversation with you, and just like, wow, how much shame is connected to body. You know, I know shame affects everything, but body is, you know, because it's my thing, and listening to your story is amazing. And I thank you for that, and how it's all about trying to care for us in ways that are damaging, but ultimately we're trying to keep ourselves safe in some way. But the shame just, it's almost like, you know, behind you, you've got the colours of the flowers, and then next to it, it's a bit darker.
Yes, so, I've got my dark blue curtain because of the blue background in here. Yes.
And it's almost, that's how shame and the creativity can be, that shame could be seen as a darkness and take over. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. But when it's balanced with the other stuff, it can become something else. Like that colour enhances that, and that enhances that. So it's no longer got its power of what it was about.
It's more balanced out.
You know what I mean? And I remember once somebody telling me about shame a few years ago, probably in my counselling training as well, actually. And they said about, you know, I'd got this thing that shame is so totally bad and it's negative and all the rest of it. And they agreed, yes, it is, when it comes outside for us, and especially when we feel shamed by outside, it doesn't even belong to us. But it's the first time I heard somebody saying shame can be useful. And I'm like, how so? Like, are you off your, you know? And they just mentioned that if you've done something like a behavior or whatever, and we've all done it, you know, I've done something that I'm shameful of, then shame is good to remind you that that's not okay. So what can you do about it differently? As we're older, not the shame that's insidious, but do you know what I mean? It's like if you do an action or something and you feel shame about it, well, it's not downing you, but there was an action that you did or something you said and you're like, oh my God, I'm so ashamed I did that. It's like, it's a good thing. It could be like, well, okay, check it out. And so, yes, would you do that to anybody else that, you know, blah, blah, blah. Then it's a rain check. And it's like, okay, thank you, Shane. I hear you. And I'm definitely never, ever going to say that to another person. Like I'm never going to do that to another person because of the shame. So it's got a purpose in that way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, yeah. Like all communication, information, sadness, anger, whatever. It's all information.
All data, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Loving this conversation. It's amazing.
Yeah, could write a pretty big assignment on this one, couldn't we, if we were back in the counsellor training days?
Yeah.
That's something I used to love doing, you know.
Yeah.
I was the only one in my course that used to love the assignments.
Oh, yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
How are you doing?
Oh, Kaz, I'm just really, I must admit, I'm feeling a bit tired.
Okay, right.
Yeah, but good, amazing. And I'm thinking about this gift that you've given me today and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so proud of myself, and also realizing hearing your story was really, really helpful with the people that I'm working with.
Okay.
Because at the same time we're looking at, so what is it you used to enjoy, or inviting something in that you used to do, and if it's not joyful yet, that's okay, just still keep playing. That I'm realizing that that's given me, hearing your story is a real reminder of ultimately our body, mind and soul knows what's right for us.
Yes.
And the more we can inch towards, and it's in the joy, I used to think joyful, it's in the creativity, whether it's anything, because that's where we're body, mind, spirit. We're so creative in that we just, anything like that laughter, just anything like kindness, do you know, anything like, so that's a real good reminder of, to help people find themselves more, which we are doing, but now I'm going to do more about that. And just really reminding me how much, let's put shame back on the table.
Absolutely, yeah.
As you shine and do more and get brighter, that let's just take care and let's honor that this may be something, so it doesn't dampen it down, and you've got this. Let's just know this is old stuff you've got, but we can name the shame, whereas before it could be your mind, it could be you not feeling worthy, blah, blah, blah. But this bit, I think, could be really powerful.
Yeah.
And for myself, I'm like, there's more shame from when I was younger, blah. I had no idea that shame impacted me in the way that it has done.
Yeah.
And so grateful for this conversation, that it doesn't have that impact now, but also that you can get through it. You really can get through it, regardless of what people think. And it's a journey, but it's so possible.
Very, very possible. Yeah.
And you only need one person like you, or one other person, a friend or whatever, and you start to shift the vibration, because shame has got such a low vibration. It's the lowest vibration you can get. So when you start lifting it up a bit, so there's stuff you can do vibrationally, frequency, energy wise, as well as working on it. Yeah. So you've reminded me of all of that and what's possible. And I'm so grateful so many people like you and others and myself, or, you know, most of us are working in some way, and how ripple effects, people want to do that for somebody else. I feel like that. Do you know what I mean? That we want to love each other and see each other. Just even in, so when I used to go out and I'd see a woman in, you know, the toilet, and I'm like, oh my God, I love your dress. That's gorgeous. Do you know what I mean? Or I love what you've done with your hair. Or I tried to stay away from the body, you know, but I'd say like, I love such a cute handbag, or your boots or your shoes, or it's still appearance, because I couldn't say anything I know about them because I don't know them.
No.
But do you know what I mean? It's like I would do that for other women. And it's amazing, because a lot of women are used to being looked at because of jealousy.
Absolutely.
And so they'd be like, oh, thank you.
And it's a big surprise to be given a compliment.
Yeah.
And they can tell that it's genuine. They can feel that.
That's what we can do for each other. And it Sorry.
lifting each other up rather than
Yeah.
putting each other down.
Yeah, it makes me almost want to start a movement. I'm not, because of Lock Planet, but I always, like we've got Me Too, but another one that says, give each other a compliment.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I don't know, something like, just put it out there. Let's put it out there. It's just,
How are you doing? You
I'm
said you're
actually
tired.
feeling amazing. I'm a bit tired,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's because I had an hour and a half group before as well, which was
Yes,
awesome.
dawn.
It was awesome, but I'm feeling amazing. Kaz, and I swear to God, I admire this work that you're doing, but I
Yeah,
feel really, really good and energized and passionate, and I want to do something, and I
today,
can't wait to be
like
with the
right
lady. I mean,
now.
I'll create something, and I said the ladies, what I mean? Said,
Fantastic. So is that something you might then blog? Would you put that out? I don't know where
yes,
you put things out, Liz, if you've got a blog or if you
yeah,
mention social media. So you
yeah.
get
Nobody really reads it yet, but they will do one day. But yeah,
absolutely.
definitely,
Yeah. Oh
definitely
yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
getting out there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Great topic. And it will be next month, because I've done this month. It will be next month's post for the whole month. It will be the
Yeah.
theme. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I'd love to know
I'm going
about
to write
where I
that
can find
down.
that and where I can see that. I'd love that, if that's okay with you.
Brilliant. Oh my God, that would be a pleasure. I'm just making a note that that's my theme for next month. And then I have a theme for the month. So
Oh, got it. Right. Now we understand. Yes.
yeah. And I'm going to create something. I need to do a free handout, love, about free handout. Sorry,
No, it's
love.
great that you've
And
got
that's
these
what it's going to
ideas
be.
and write them down as soon as they come. That's what I do.
That's what I'm
I've got a
going to do.
file on my phone and on my laptop.
Same. All over bits of paper.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, Kaz. Wow.
It was so lovely to watch you share about that. You went for a treatment, you helped that person to make sense of and to how to take care of, and just to see all that pouring out of you like that it was just beautiful to see. Thank you for letting
Oh,
me witness
yeah.
that. What a gift you gave her, and secondhand to her friend, who I really hope she finds you.
Oh.
Yeah, August is as soon as you could see them.
Yeah, I didn't give her a card because I haven't got one. I said, yeah. And she said, I'll see you again. But I know that she's got my name if she really,
Yeah, she'll follow
yeah,
it up. But
yeah,
you've probably really helped her to think as well. Yeah,
yeah. I hope so.
yeah.
I hope so, because it'll be great for that woman and for their relationship.
Absolutely. It'll change
It,
everything.
be
It'll be a
really nice.
remarkable change for them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing, that sort of knock-on ripple effect. I
Thank you.
don't even know what the time is. My clock's over there on the wall. I'm going to have a look now. Oh, it's about 10 to 10. So if we start to bring this to a close, is there anything left unsaid, or is there anything that you think, oh, I wish I'd said that or told her that thing, or
Sometimes afterwards, but right now, Kaz, no. Right now, it's been incredible. And I can't wait to see, because I'm not really sure I just know it's been a brilliant journey. So I'd love to see what it was. Yeah, and I thank you for that, because it's such a gift, and honoring you and getting to know you more as well. Like, wow, wow. And, the work that you do. And I love the layered work that you do in your art as well.
yeah,
And
it's
I've still
very,
got my
very
angels and two. Do you know what I mean? I've still got those workshops I haven't done, and then I don't have enough
yeah,
time. But I'm gonna make time. I'm gonna
yeah,
make time.
yeah, yeah.
This morning was about abundance, so I'm like gonna make abundance of time. Yeah.
Well, if you need reminders or any help of how to find whatever it was you've got, just let me know and I'll help you find those
Two
things.
lots that, yeah, but
Right.
how many years?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And I love my tree, and I put my tree up, still got my tree, and the amount of the amount, I haven't got that many people and that many friends, but the amount of people that have said, I love that. And when it was done and it's layered and it's all this and that, and you should contact her. And I've given you contact out a couple of times, but you know how it is, eh? But that's something that maybe, oh, Kaz, I'm getting an idea from the clients. I'll be in touch another time.
Okay, no problem.
But an idea is that,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do is another time. Yeah, I'm just thinking
You can
about.
say it if you want. Just say it if you want to while it's there.
What I want to do, Kaz, is I want to create a resource page, and this is genuine, right?
Yeah.
And so I only want to create a resource page of some things I'm going to put on, but I want to put a resource page on of people like yourself that do that layered work. So that it's a contact, like this is a contact. I've worked with this lady before. She works on different levels and this is her. Do you know what I mean? And I'm doing it for a woman who does voice stuff. Like it's all out there, you know, like her stuff is, but it's voice stuff. And I'm going to do it with another woman that does movement stuff, but it's stuff that's not, but I want to create a resource to put it on my webpage, but also for the clients.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of that. I've mentioned it to the VA because what you do is it's the layered stuff and what comes out of it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like just making it available and making it known.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have that many people coming yet, but one day. But the clients, it's for the clients, really.
Yeah. It's happening.
So I'll come back to you on that because I'm also looking at a friend who does flower essence and things that are a bit out there, but I've experienced myself.
Yes. Yeah.
That I know the depth of it and the level of it. And so I'll come back to you on that.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you so much, Kaz. Send you so much love and big hugs and like
to you.
Wow.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to me about me. Because I don't reveal that much of me really. Doing my goddess program a lot. But just generally, I tend not to, apart from in therapy and in supervision. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It's honestly a privilege.
And to you too.
Thank you.
So, I hope you have a lovely day. You've got all your day ahead of you.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you. And I hope you sleep well whenever you get to bed.
Yes, I know. I'm still wide awake. Oh dear. It's just how I am. Mornings are very slow.
Do you sleep? I was going to say, do you sleep in mornings?
Not really, to be honest. I'm usually, of late, I've been awake about 4 a.m. and yesterday was about 5:30. So I don't really sleep an awful lot. I do have a hell of a lot of energy. Just the way I am. And I just sort of like, ping, I'm wide awake again and off I go.
And you feel okay with that through the day? Do you have enough energy and things like that?
Around about 3 o'clock, I chill out. I take all my art stuff to my favourite coffee place. And get all my journals and all my art stuff out, and I just spend some time chilling, usually for about 2 hours. Actually, it's quite a long break. It's just for me. I can do whatever I want, and I come up with lots of ideas as well, which that seems to be the thing that makes me feel really satisfied and happy. That those ideas that come, and some of them will never ever, I haven't enough life left to produce everything, but they're there and they help others, because somebody else might say, I don't know what to do for this thing, this workshop, and it's like, well, I've got loads of ideas, can I help? They just come all the time, Liz. It's just a never-ending flow of ideas for events and workshops and things, courses. I can't seem to switch it off. And I don't really want to switch it off. I'm very grateful for it.
And it's great that you've got that outlet of allowing them to come through whatever happens.
Yes, I make a note, whether they come to something or not, they're still there. If I don't write it down, it troubles me in case I forget it. So I get everything documented, and then I'm free to think up more ideas.
Magic.
So take good care of you. Have a lovely, lovely day.
Thank you.
And I will get on to editing this after I've got that course submitted that I'm doing.
And there's no rush, Kaz. So thank you so much. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. And then whatever sleep you do get, and have a lovely weekend.
And
Thank
you. Oh yeah, it's the weekend. I forgot about that.
Thank you for gifting me for this rest of this day and my weekend. Awesome. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.